What's good? What's good? What's good in the hood? Welcome back to another episode of the Good in the Hood podcast. I am, as always, your host, Juice. Joining us with a special guest, man, Chicago's own, man, dope artist, dope talent, man, the homie Simba P. What's going on, buddy?
What's up? What's up? How you feeling, brother?
Hey, man, all good, man. Like I told you before we hit record, man, but listen to the music recently and been loving what I'm hearing, man. Very honored to have you on the show, man. Tell me about yourself. How'd you get started in the music, man? But before we get to that, what's the meaning of the name Simba P?
Man, so Simba was a name that happened, well, that was placed onto me as a child, really. One of my mom's close friends, she used to call me Mufasa growing up. You know what I'm saying? But at first, they was just like, well, nah, he ain't Mufasa until he graduated college. You know what I'm saying? That's Simba. So they started calling me Simba, and
so you was Simba before J. Cole even thought about that idea. Before Cole was doing the grown simple shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. You was Simba before you even had the locks and shit. Then that's even harder.
Actually, no, I was Simba because I had the locks. You know what I'm saying? That's why she started calling me Simba, because my hair just looked like a lion's, man.
So you're the main, you was a shorty. That's hard, man. And what got you into the music then? When did the name Simba transition into the artist Simba?
Man, okay, so I gotta take you back. So it all started like when I was 16, really, man. My mentors, Mother Nature, found me through this thing that we did with schools. Actually, it was called Echoes of Emmett, as in Emmett Till. They were leading the writing program, the writing piece of it. So like the creative writing aspect and they were doing spoken word and things of that nature. So basically, they had helped me with a group piece for everybody, and also helped me with my own personal piece. And then that was the first time I had ever like stepped on stage later on after that to do my own spoken word. So I got into spoken word after that, really because of them. Now that I'm thinking about it, but
that's hard. You got a spoken word through that Echoes of Emmett, you said it was called?
Yeah, Echoes of Emmett. It was actually supposed to be a movie. Apparently, it just never happened. I don't know. I got to get some more information on it. But through that, they were doing the Miseducation of Hip-Hop shortly after that. So they kind of put me on to what they were doing, and what the Miseducation of Hip-Hop is basically they give the youth the tools to be artists and the resources, and it's like a school. It's a hip-hop school. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they put us through these workshops. Put us in touch with some of the producers in the area, put us in touch with a lot of the creators within our own area, and basically put us onto a whole new world. And from then on, Simba P was created. Ever since I was on this path of music, man, and that was just the beginning. So
how many years are we talking about now that you put in pen to paper?
Say that one more time.
How many years are we talking about if you put in pen to paper?
Man, shit. Really, I've been like jotting thoughts down and things since I was like 8. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard.
Me and my cousins, man, we used to just sit down and like grab journals, and like this was like when technology was first like hitting and shit. So like this was probably like the first time I ever seen like a webcam. We would like get on YouTube, find some beats, grab our journals, we writing rhymes. You know,
sure.
We would record ourselves on the camera type shit.
It's hard. And you don't mind me asking, how old are you now? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh, well, you definitely still young in the game. So like 8 years. You've been doing this now for about what, 14 years now. So that's pretty amazing, bro. So and you started off as spoken word, basically, correct? I guess that's how you kind of found the foundation to spoken word.
Yes, sir. Spoken word and poetry.
Like, so what was your musical influences as a kid, 8 years old, putting pen to paper? Who you listening to at this time that influenced you?
Man, I didn't really like fall in love with music really for real until like it was probably like that Wayne era, man. Like when Wayne was his hot streak, it was
07
hip hop grasped me. Now, don't get me wrong, like I was always listening to hip hop. I was always listening to the OGs and whatnot. Like my first ever like record I remember, like album I ever like remember listening to in full was Easy Does It by Eazy-E.
Okay. All right, that's hard.
Off my pop's iPod type of shit.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. And you mentioned that Wayne era, and of course that Wayne era, I'm sure is impactful to everyone from your generation to mine. That era was special. Like, what about that era resonated with you? And because I feel like that was the era for especially your generation that was like your golden era when Wayne was Wayne, Drake coming up. Like, talk to me about that era for you.
That was really like for me, that was like the emergence of all of the what we would say the top 5 niggas is right now. You know what I'm saying? My air quotation, you know what I'm saying? Because top 5 is different.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
But typically, when we have the conversations, the top 5, the niggas that came up either during or after that Wayne era were considered that. Because soon after, you know, Kendrick came and all that other stuff. These are my inspirations. These are a lot of my inspirations as well. I mean, of course, I always look up to the OGs. I always know the history. And even now I'm still learning the history. And that's something that if you in the game, you got to pride yourself on knowing the game and getting to know the industry that you're in, man.
How about as far as Chicago influences? Anybody from Chicago, R&B, hip hop artists that influence your sound?
I mean, I always grew up with Common around. You know what I'm saying? Listening to Common, just with my parents and all of that. And then I remember when I got to high school, really one of the when I really fell in love with the Chicago music scene was around the time acid rap happened. I remember that was the first time I listened to Chance the Rapper, and that's what got me into his catalog. And around the same time, I started listening to Lil Herb as well. And really, that's when I started making music. I was 16. Yeah. I was 15, 16 at that time. Actually 14. I started making music 2 years later. But that was when my interest was peaked.
That's hard. That's hard.
Young cats doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And that's also an era when you guys like the tools are kind of there. Like I'm saying, we have laptops, the phones, like all that shit's available.
And of course, you got Ye. You know what I'm saying? He's always been an influence musically, sonically to me, and you can probably hear that in the music as well. But and then Twista, of course. When I get into certain bags, that's where some of that come from. And honestly, I try to keep an ear open for everything.
Are you out west or out south Chicago?
Right now, I'm out south. I'm in Hyde Park with it.
For sure. That's dope, man. And it's dope for Chicago to keep putting on dope artists. I gotta ask you this question. It's a question I like to ask many people. If you had to go back to to pretty much discuss your origin story, right? You created a movie around your origin story. I'm saying the upbringing of Simba P to who you are now, right? What's an album that you grew up with that you will use as a soundtrack for that moment of life?
Man, definitely. Man, like when I got to college and I would start the journey of like discovering self, for real, I would say what was most comparable was probably Good Kid, Mad City, especially conceptual wise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the concept of it, like a kid really trying to go through, you know what I'm saying?
For real.
Get through all this shit. And you got your homies peer pressuring you got all this other shit in the hood, just going on, and you just trying to get in where you fit in, and shit pop off.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that though. That's I would definitely say Good Kid, Mad City.
That's a classic. It's a great choice. It's a great choice. Can't go wrong. That's actually a whole story. It's perfect for the answer.
Perfect. That's story. Kendrick did his story.
And after listening to your music, I hear like a lot of influence. I can tell like a lot of influences, not influences, but like it's not necessarily a specific sound. You pretty much touch a lot of bases with your sound. Yeah. Very, very dope artist. Very, very original sounding ways, but it's also not strictly like just rapping. You're not rapping for it. It's rapping and singing. It's a lot of elements to your music. Yeah, and we're in this culture today with music, especially with hip hop being the genre. Like all music pretty much has a piece of hip hop in it, in a sense. So it's kind of like brought this almost genreless era to music. How do you feel about the new sounds in music today?
Man, I feel like it's something that people have had trouble getting used to for a long time.
Yeah.
I also feel like change is always necessary in the game.
Absolutely.
How the approach changes is what we should think about more so than anything. But I personally feel like it was gonna get like this either way. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
It was bound to happen because of the simple fact of, like you said, hip hop is in everything. Everybody loves hip hop. We gravitate, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. It don't matter. If you alive, you vibe into that, to that baseline. You know what I'm saying?
Every time.
Like it's just an undeniable thing, and I really love the fact that you can't go nowhere without hearing hip hop. I love that hip hop is in a sense pop, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I guess
Absolutely.
That might be an unpopular thing to say, but
yeah, sure.
When I say I love it, bro, we got the influence, we got the ear. No matter how you slice it, we have the ear, and that's something to celebrate.
Right. So I was just telling somebody recently, like, man, I remember hip hop was. I mean, I'm 31, so like hip hop when I was growing up was, I'm saying, it was still kind of niche. Like it wasn't like people were still kind of saying it was the blame for all the street violence. And now everything is hip hop. It's crazy to me. It's crazy how I'm saying it's beautiful to see as well. Like we pretty much made society accept us, and now they have to be a part of it. I'm saying that you have to tolerate us because we are the culture.
Exactly.
It's dope as hell.
Hip hop is spiritual, man. Hip hop is like a religion.
100%.
And if you know the elements, it's a practice. It's a lifestyle.
100%. And like,
up on
it. and I hope you don't take offense while hearing music. I do hear. It does remind me of, like, of course we have the Cuddies, we have the Travis Scotts, we have the artists out here who couldn't rap, but at the same time just make something that's just different than the typical. Yeah, I had to appreciate that as well, because when I look at hip hop, I think about how hip hop has evolved. And I remember when it was a mumble rap era and everyone was bashing that, but as time has grown, that mumble rap has kind of evolved and merged and created something that's completely different now with Dirk and Lil Baby and these sounds that are the culture.
It's the frequencies, man. It's the vibe that it give you sometimes. It's a feeling. Like, I'm glad you mentioned Cuddy and Travis Scott, because those are also two of my inspirations. People I pull from. People who have inspired me to create in general. I remember the first time I was listening to Birds in the Trap, and I got to that through the late night track, and I'm hearing Cuddy just I'm nigga, what the fuck?
Just freaking,
bro. Like, this shit is hard. This shit is hard. And the fact that he kept going with it, even listening to his shit now, the newer shit, bro, like,
yeah, man.
I love that shit because it gives a different frequency, a different sound. It gives you a feeling that's new, that's different. I pride myself on being so versatile and being so in and out of genres because of the simple fact I like to push barriers. I don't want to fit into one box. And if you cool with that, that's you. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely,
and I like to break out of that shit. I can't be contained.
And it's important because me, like, I grew up, I'm saying, like, in the blog era, I was super into Cole and Kendrick, and the fact, like, I never would have guessed in a million years that Cole would be double time guy, and he's bodying that. So everyone has to evolve. The culture has to continue to evolve. That's hella important, man. So it's great to hear you say that. Amongst the artists of today, like your peers, people that you consider influences, what's your favorite album right now in 2021 outside of your own camp?
Man, you said outside of my own camp, like
outside of your camp. Yeah.
Okay, man, right now, artists who I've really been fucking with, like, I've been having that shit on repeat. Baby King, man, has been going fucking crazy.
The Melodic Blue.
The Melodic Blue is such a great album to me, man. Like, top to bottom, I can't stop. Like,
did that.
Like dog, and yeah, man, yeah.
How about artists of your camp or around the city?
Artists of my camp right now, I've definitely been blasting Seasons by
Seasons
for man, that's on repeat as well.
Shout out to Clever and Truth for sure.
Big shout out to my mothers, man. Big shout out to them.
Absolutely, man.
And shout out to the Pain too, my hometown. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Pain. Shout out to the Pain.
And with that, like, we might as well go and skip ahead because, like, of course, this year, before we get to this year, last year you dropped the project Make It Out. Make It Out. I just listened to it, like I said, the last couple of weeks. Fire, bro. Like, real top to bottom, a nice dynamic of sound. I think what 8-9 tracks, like real smooth listen. And talk to me about like how it was making this project and dropping it in the midst of a pandemic, and especially when you're such a performative artist. I feel like it's like I'm interested to see how that treated you, how that felt for you.
Man, it was weird, bro. It was a weird time for everybody. Everyone was trying to adjust, and like I had just started getting booked for shows. I was pissed. I was hurt, and honestly, I was going through a real turbulent time of my life. Throughout that anyway, and I'm very open with my music and very open about my life and what inspires me through it. So like, man, I was definitely like going through it because I was robbed by like a guy I like really, really trusted, thought I could trust, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like one of the reasons why I left, you know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't want to be involved in certain shit no more. Didn't want to be caught up in the mix of a lot of things. I had too much going on. So, man, like in that move, being taken in by Mother Nature and the great thinkers, that was an amazing thing. But I was also coping with the loss of like, I guess like the old life that I used to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not back home no more. I'm in Chicago now where my other family live. You know what I'm saying? The other half of my biological family, and I like to say my spiritual family. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I was going through a spiritual awakening, basically. And what Make It Out represented was definitely like going through those chakras. If people is tapped into that, you know what I'm saying? And achieving like that higher self. And that's why it's 7 tracks, because of that. Each track is a different, it's supposed to represent a different chakra, which also represents a different, feeling. You know what I'm saying? That's why it starts off kind of like heavy feeling, and then it gets lighter as it goes on, because it's like I'm breaking myself down to build myself up. You know what I'm saying? Making it out of the old situations to become something better, making it out of these old toxic ass mindsets that I used to think and I used to practice, making it out of my old hometown and going into this world and seeing this whole new side of things that I've never seen before. It represents the transition. And
what's the hometown again? One more time. The hometown?
Champaign, Illinois, about 2 hours.
For sure, Champaign.
And during that pandemic time, man, like it was cool because I had the thinkers with me throughout that whole time period. We were all living together. We was all together. So it was like, so like it was super creative. I had the help of them to like coach me with a lot of the music side of things. And although we couldn't really get no shows, you know what I'm saying? For real, we was definitely doing like digital shows, virtual shows and things like that. It was cool. It was definitely cool, but I didn't like that shit. I need a crowd in front of me. I like to be in front of people and talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Like so I mean, and it was weird because I couldn't push the music. I didn't know how to push the music like I do now. And I was also learning through that too, learning how to market things, learning how to represent a brand, and really getting into the business, really getting down to the nitty gritty of the business side of things. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Mastering that creative half and the business half of it. So really Make It Out was just a very big transitional piece of my life. And man, I love making that project. So I hope everybody else enjoys listening to it.
And we look back in retrospect as we, I don't want to say we out the pandemic because I'm saying it's just still out there, but like now that we are in a more open state of mind, like how do you feel like you done in that transition period? I'm saying understanding yourself spiritually, getting out of that situation, dropping the project, and now in a position now where you can, do more. How are you feeling about it now?
I feel like the pandemic gave a lot of us time. Gave a lot of us time to tap into self, gave a lot of us time to prepare to what we were going to do when we come out of it. And I feel like what the pandemic made me, and I think the rest of the thinkers do, is use that time wisely. You know what I'm saying? I had to create, because if I didn't create, I wasn't going to feel right. I had to tap into self and meditate and think a little differently than what I would, because certain things just, I'm not trying to come out of this. I'm not trying to take with me. You know what I'm saying? I can't take certain shit with me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And we mentioned the name The Thinkers a few times. And if you're familiar with this podcast, you heard me big up Mother Nature a few times. Two dope artists from the city. Tell us what the great thinkers are. I know you guys dropped the project this year, the Thinkaz Only Vol.1. Tell us what the great thinkers are and what you guys represent.
We are a multimedia collective, man. The great thinkers are a multimedia collective of multiple different types of creatives. We have painters, we have graphic designers. We all wear different kind of hats, and we consist of multiple people. It's been a growth of 10 years with this company. You know what I'm saying? With the great thinkers. I'm just now a part of it for the past year and a half now. And basically, man, we do a lot of different things, such as the Great Cypher. You know what I'm saying? That's something where we get the community together. We have a location, and we all come out and we spit bars, man. Like, when I'm talking bars, people bring their A game, man.
I have to check that out. That's hard.
And but yeah, man, we were founded by Great Rock and Jay Moses. You know what I'm saying? Two people down from the 217 Champagne ran to it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Danville, all that whole area. Mm-hmm. And basically, man, they started this shit 10 years ago. And then Jeff Coombs came along, you know what I'm saying? Then you had Gray Sky, you know. Truth came, Clev came, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different. Man, it's a Thinkiverse. Yeah, that's the
Thinkiverse. I like that.
Like, to be honest with you, it would take forever to tell the entire story, because there's so many pieces and so many layers as to how it all happened. So the great thing is a multimedia collective who not only make music, but we do productions, man. We are trying to sustain a new culture. You know what I'm saying? Push the culture that is here further and shift it in a way that's healthy and, you know, sustainable for Black folks everywhere.
Very, very dope. And walk me through the creation of Thinkaz Only Vol.1. How was that creative process for you as an artist? Do you feel like you became better through that process? Walk me through it.
Man, so the process of Thinkaz Only, we was really just getting it in when we could type of shit. Like, we would schedule like certain days to where we would, you know, sit down and work in the studio. You know what I'm saying? I think it was every Sunday we finna get in the studio. You know what I'm saying? And we finna record, and working with, you know, Jeff, Truth, Sky, Clev, HK, our producer, you know what I'm saying? And Jay Moses, these are people that are all from my hometown that are on some whole other shit when it comes to this spitter shit, man. Like, so it's me, like, being the youngest. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta keep up. So like, yeah, man, I would definitely say it made me better, because I pulled from all of them. You know what I'm saying? I learned something from all of them, and they all learned something from me, and that's how it is, and that's a dynamic that's been happening before I ever became a part of the Great Thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Because they all already had their own dynamic where they would build off of each other, and they would, you know, finish each other. You know, man, it's crazy.
Chemistry real.
Chemistry is crazy. So like now, you know what I'm saying? Since we did the Thinkaz Vol.1, and now working on more music together and doing shows together and whatnot, the chemistry for me has picked up, because I'm keeping up. But from their eyes, they were like, man, you was already keeping up type of thing. So I'm like, man, I'm just I guess I didn't know
Right, real shit.
how much I was already there. And they made me better because they pushed me in a sense of, you should do this more with your afflictions and your voice. You should do this. You should do this more, sing more and all this other stuff. Push yourself. And they've been doing that since I was 16 though. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy because like I would talk about how aligned we all were as thinkers already before we ever even knew it. Like,
sure.
like for example, man, me, Jeff, HK, we was all part of the same Boy Scout troop growing up.
Man, it's crazy.
I didn't know that, though, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. They a little bit older than I am.
Right.
So they was like almost done with it by the time I came in. And to come back, had I come back around full circle, I'm like, man, me and Sky are cousins. I didn't know that till
the Thinkerverse. The Thinkerverse is real.
The Thinkerverse is real, bro.
That's crazy.
I felt so the chemistry was already there before I even got there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she was in the stars.
You know what I'm saying? It just felt so aligned, man.
And what's also dope about your music, from listening to Make It Out especially, you kind of also have elements of, I hate to say the term, I guess, but drill. Drill is also like a little bit in your sound.
You ain't gotta hate it. I love it. It's cool.
For sure. But like, I hate the term drill because I hate dicing hip hop into subgenres for real. But I'm gonna do it in this segment real quick. Just I want to get your take on this real quick. As far as Chicago hip hop goes, it's always interests me how Chicago drill sounds always kind of been in the forefront of Chicago rather than the quote unquote conscious sound has, like the Pivot Gangs, the Save Monies, the Free Nations, like those groups kind of, as great as they don't get as much attention, I feel like, as the drill artists get. As an artist yourself who kind of plays, you kind of play a sound in both realms. How does that feel to you as an artist and a fan of the music?
There is a necessity for both, in a lot of different ways. I respect drill because the shit that they talk about is real life. It's like if you want to take it there, it's kind of like how a lot of people looked at NWA when they first came out. You know what I'm saying? Reality raps. You dig? It's really just a newer form of reality raps. If we keeping it 100%.
Right.
You have to respect that because that's what they see when they look out their window. You know what I'm saying? Albeit at the same time, you do got to tell people how to get through that type of shit. You can't just kind of talk about it, and because then it does look like you glorifying it. You feel me?
That's the beauty and the maturation of Herbo. Like what Herbo has become is super. That's definitely what you just spoke of. That's what Herbo is kind of doing now. It's really
that's why I appreciate her. That's why, you know what I'm saying. Even Dirk still like.
Yeah, Dirk too. Sure.
People, oh man, because my mama even asked me a question today. She was like, now that you starting to get influence of becoming influential, does that affect what you say in your music and how you're making your music? And I'm like, and I got stuck, honestly, because man, it was like you got to find a balance between that. You got to find a balance in that. I gotta say what's real and what's happening in the streets for real, because I can't sugarcoat this and I can't lie about this. But I also have to tell you how to get through this stuff and tell you and let you know that, like there is a higher piece to this. You feel me? So it is, and that's why I appreciate her for shit like PTSD. That whole theme that he had was
concept. Yeah,
that is some real shit. That is some real shit. Niggas is out here traumatized like we at war because
it's a war zone.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that. So it's necessary. It's necessary to keep that balance, and that's why I love drill music, and that's why I love conscious music, and kind of what the thinkers do in general. We call it like spiritual trap, man. Like spiritual trap. It's like
trap. I like that a lot.
Like it's, I like that a lot. If we gonna call it a subgenre, we gonna call it that. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And that's the importance to me as a fan, as a spectator of conglomerates, collectives like the Great Thing, is because what you just said, right? When it comes to the drill sound, when it comes to NWA sound, 50 Cent sound, whatever gangster rap sound you want to bring up from any past era, it's dope when it's authentic. But once the pop culture gets a hold of it, and it goes from that authentic sound to people using it and being fake with it and trying to monetize it and just glorify it, that's when it gets really sketchy. But conglomerates and collectives like Great Thinkers, Pivot Gang, any other art form, any other group or artist that can show the opposite end of that spectrum, it gives that balance and kind of gets rid of those who just use that sound that, even though it's gangster rap, they're not necessarily living that lifestyle. They're just using that sound. It kind of cancels them out, which I appreciate artists like y'all. Very important.
You gotta realize even gangsters got a code.
Even gangsters got a code, man. And you can always say the ones who ain't the gangsters, they don't got a code.
Exactly.
Takashi. Takashi. But yeah, man. And as you prepare for more performances coming up for you, what is more entertaining for you or more enjoyable for you as an artist, as a performing artist? Actually being on stage with the fans or creating that visual art piece, that music video?
Man, to be honest with you, I love to perform, bro. That is my shit. I love to get on stage and to interact with people and to have them and to make them want to put their hands up and dance and jump around and forget that they fucking exist for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that shit is fun to me, bro. But even then, like I do like putting together concepts, and I'm a very conceptual person. I like to have a cohesive story and all that stuff. So when it comes to putting together visuals and aspects and things like that, I haven't been. This is really good. Now I'm really about to start. This is the first time I'm really going to be starting to drop visuals like that because now I have, a team, actual team behind me. So it's like, it gets meticulous, and that's why sometimes it can get, I can be a little turned off by it. But with the performance thing, I know what I'm doing. I get up there, I show the fuck out, and I rehearse all of that other shit. But it's so fun because, man, it's like a totally different high when you up there, bro. Like, it's like it's just the energy that the people give me because I feel the love. You know what I'm saying? And
sure.
I try to, and I'm giving out love. So, that's performing for sure.
Have you guys as a collective performed Thinkaz Only yet?
We have done tracks from Thinkaz Only, man. We have done tracks from Thinkaz Only.
That's how. And I was the crowd's embrace with that.
Man, when we did that Wicker Park Fest,
that's hard.
That shit was smacking. I loved it, man. I loved it. We did Thinkaz Only shit. We did some Mother Nature shit. We did some D8.
Yeah.
D8 is Jeff Combs and Gray Sky. We did some DA shit, and we did one of my tracks as well, man. And the crowd, the energy that they was giving, woo.
That's dope. That's dope.
I want to recreate it every day. I wish I could feel like that every day.
So what's next? What's next in your goal list as far as music goes? Making more solo projects, another Thinkaz project. What's in the cards for you next as you gear up for 2022?
I am definitely working on. I'm definitely planning to release an EP here very soon. And after that, I'll be releasing an LP.
For sure, because you do got a big single right now that is smacking, bro. That Space Jam go crazy.
Love, brother, love.
Absolutely.
Merch as well, merchandise as well. We're gonna have a couple merch items dropping.
Your record Space Jam is better than the entire Space Jam 2 movie, bro. Good job on that, bro. you did a great job.
That means a lot.
Does it? I'm saying, does it? It's a great record. It's a great record. That's just a bad movie.
It's a terrible movie. It's not that good.
You're born bogus for that, bro.
Oh man, it's not that good. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was 7, I might like it.
You know what I'm saying? If I was a kid, I would have loved it.
You know what I'm saying? But like as far as like music, I know you guys also have a lot going on as far as apparel goes. Anything else in the apparel going on for y'all?
Say that one more time.
Anything coming up for either Thinkaz or yourself as far as apparel or merch goes? Anything coming up?
I'm definitely gonna be releasing merch for my EP and LP coming out soon called As Above So Below. We do have great thinker merch for sale right now. So definitely please go cop that at thegreatthinkers.com. You know what I'm saying? You got the
GR8.
Yes, sir. That's DGR8THINKAZ.com.
And where else can they follow you, find your music? Please, please plug yourself at this time, man. I appreciate you.
Man, you can find me on all platforms at @IAM_Simba P. You know what I'm saying? You can find my collective at DGR8 Thinkaz with a Z. That's THINKAZ. Man, and really, you can find my links on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Website will be coming soon. So
dope, man. Hey, run bro music up, man. Super appreciate you coming on the platform, man. Your music is dope. I can't look forward enough to see what's up next for you, bro. Definitely gonna be tapped in.
Don't be crazy, man. We definitely gonna be definitely expect some more from the Thinkers as well. A lot. Some big announcements.
Y'all heard it here first, man. Some big announcement with the Thinkers coming soon. I appreciate you, bro, man. Thank you very much for coming on the show as always, man. Stay good in the hood. Love, my bro.
Love, brother. Thank you for having me, man. For real. You asked some amazing fire questions, dope ass conversation, man.
Hey, man. You know, I try.